Hello, everyone. I'm Ross Yeager, Director of Wake County Northern Regional Center, and joined as always with the fabulous Betty Murchison, who is the chair of the Wake County Northern Regional Center Community Advocacy Committee. So, hello, Betty. It's been a while since we've done
Ross?
these.
Yes, I'm glad to be back. I've really missed our show.
Yeah, I have too, and I know that it's something the community has looked forward to. So we're excited to be back
Yes.
with everyone, and really kind of super excited to share today's spotlight in Northern Lights. And again, Lights an acronym, living in good health together. Today we're going to focus on seniors, and we have an a very high percentage of seniors that live up in this part of Wake County, which is awesome. I mean, that means that we live in the kind of community that has the resources for them. But not everyone is aware of all that's available to them. So today we're going to spend some time just making sure that we're making those connections for folks. And I want to give credit to someone you'll meet a little later, Jenny Grigg, the director for the senior center, came up with this cool name, "Engage with Age," that we literally just slapped on there like 2 minutes ago. But it's great. So I would like to turn it over to Betty at this point, so she can explain kind of what this show is for the new viewers.
Absolutely. Ross and I, as the Ross is the director of the Northern Regional Center, and he was gracious enough to ask me to chair the Community Advocacy Committee. And the photographs you see are the wonderful people who are part of this committee. And I consider us as ambassadors for the Wake Forest Roseville Northern Regional area. And our role is to ensure that there are available high quality services within this community. And we take our work very seriously. And these are people, if you know them, if they're your neighbors or your friends, please share with them anything that you feel like we should know. Or you can share directly with us. You can type it in the chat during this broadcast, or you can contact Ross once the broadcast is over. And the people who are on this committee are all great people. We always give great credit to Rachel Morris, who is the director of the Roseville Chamber of Commerce. She's pictured there in the middle. She is the one who allows us to use her program, StreamYard, to broadcast our show. We embarked last year upon a journey called Health and Healing. And we've just coming out, well, I won't even say coming out of the pandemic, starting to understand the impact of the pandemic on our community. And so Ross and I discussed the issues that we need to bring to the table and discuss to make our communities healthier. One of the issues, great issues, is race relations. The whole country has been wrestling with this for a couple of years now. Well, all my life actually, but for a couple of years now, we've been having open, honest discussions about it. And one of the things that came out of the pandemic was health disparities. We saw that people who were service workers and frontline workers were the most impacted by this dreaded virus. And we need to take a look at all of our processes to see if there's a better way to serve the people who are most vulnerable in our community. And this also includes our senior citizens that we'll be discussing today. We discussed expanding partnerships. We know that there are many nonprofits in the community who are doing the work, who are filling in the gaps of the work that the Wake County Human Services can't do everything and be everything to everybody. So we've expanded our partnership, brought more people to the table, and we've had wonderful discussions and shows where we've highlighted the services provided by other community partners. And our education and outreach is what we're doing today. Our monthly show gives us the opportunity to educate the community about the resources as well as to do more outreach work. So it's been a great journey. This is our second year, and I can't wait to see where we go from here, Ross.
Yeah, me neither. And it's just been And you can tell this is something that Betty and I have enjoyed doing, and it just so nicely fits in with Betty's passion, and mine as well. So it's a labor of love, so to speak. But all right, so we'll get right into the show. And first up, we have Jenny, who is the program director of the Northern Eastern Wake Senior Center. And it was funny. I was having a conversation with Jenny. What was it, Jenny? Just maybe 2 months ago, we were still right in the thick of the pandemic, and we had just got some N95 masks. And I was, of course, thinking of the seniors as folks that are particularly vulnerable. So we made sure that the senior center got a good supply of those. And we were talking like, we're just right across the street. We know each other, but we've not really collaborated on anything recently. And then this came up. And so here we are working together on something finally. Right, Jenny?
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate being here. We really appreciate the masks. Believe me, they came in handy. Sure. We never had too many of those because it always seemed like somebody forgot theirs or needed a different one.
Right.
And
exactly.
this is extremely timely for us as well, because as we do exit the pandemic, we are now on a campaign moving forward together where we're in collaboration and really trying to work better with our surrounding partnerships, whether they be public, private, educational, whatever. So as we go forward, it's really important. And I'd like to talk a little bit about who we are. There is our tagline, moving forward together, and we're doing that through Resources for Seniors. And if you want to go to the next one, Ross, that'd be great. Mm-hmm. Resources for Seniors is actually the management company with whom I work, and they manage a lot of different facilities and services to the aging population. That's really who we are. The town of Wake Forest owns the building that we're in, and so we're so blessed to be in it. We were actually moved in 7 weeks prior to COVID, so we've never had a grand opening yet. When we have it, I'll let you all know, because it will be a party, I will tell you. Everyone on this call today does some of what we do, and we reach out to all of you for information, referral, and resources. That's kind of what Resources does. The Senior Center is just one part of it. They run the Eastern Wake and Northern Wake, pretty much totally all programs. Several of the other senior centers that you're familiar with are actually run by Parks and Rec, and we'll talk a little bit about the differentiators there. Next. Our staff, people think, wow, well, how many members do you have at the center? We're up to almost 4,000 now. We have gotten 224 members, and I think plus that, even since we chatted on Monday, since COVID, or since January when we opened back again in a more fulfilled way. And we have 2 full-time staff members, myself, Mike Hardy, who you see there, who is really one of the reasons why we were able to be successful throughout this era, and then everyone else is part-time, along with 12 very important instructors that do different types of instruction, not just the physical, but also art and other programs such as government. We teach Spanish and a variety of other things. And our volunteers are huge. We have an organization called the Friends of the Norway Senior Center, which is another 501c3 that helps support our efforts when we don't have funding to do some of the things that we need to do, because we charge for nothing here, except for when you take a Wake Tech or a Renaissance-oriented class, or if there's a class that demands some type of something to be used, such as we did a floral yesterday, so people brought their own flowers. And we have Zoomers, which are high school students that have come in and helped the aging population move from 22% of those that were able to use technology and Zoom to almost 66% of our members, which has been pretty significant. So it's totally been a collaboration. Next. Our partners are obviously the town of Wake Forest, and what we do without them, especially the facilities department, amazing. The community itself, we're working with the Garden Club, we're working with the Art Foundation. We're doing programs together every day. Public-private partnerships, such as the one featured there, you'll see in the circular. We just formed a partnership with them. They're a company called Oak Street Health that now is on the New York Stock Exchange, that is in support of a lot of what we do. They're a new way to do medicine. They have total geriatric care with among their physicians, and they even have a mini senior center in their facility. So, and not to mention Wake County government and Northern Regional Center and Wake Forest Libraries. We're all doing things together. Parks and Rec have been phenomenal. You'll see there we have a walking program that we do with them, as well as now we have a program with Austin Massenburg where they're actually taking part in our virtual programs. We offer those in all segments of dimension of wellness every day. Next. What we do, our focus, the first and the last thing are obvious, but the two things in the middle have really become true identifiers and have changed. We now ensure programming that supports all domains of wellness. That's a differentiator between us and what Parks and Rec does, because all domains of wellness among the aging population is somewhat different than all domains of wellness and their needs among the other population. And we also have identified with the pandemic that it's more relevant for seniors to stay healthy at home and independent. So we've had to alter how we deliver our services and resources to them. Next. What's changed since the pandemic? A lot. Our facility, obviously, we went from a little over 8,000 square feet to almost 20,000 square feet. The town, the demographics of the town, something that we're seeing of interest, and I think it's healthy, is more multi-generation and integration. And what I mean by this is that there's no place for affordable housing and people to move, or even people to move here at all, because it's become such a popular place. And what's happening is parents are moving in with their family members. So we're having multi-generational experiences, and intergenerational activities are now beginning to occur at the senior center. You only have to be 55 and older to come. However, we do have parent, children, and grandparents here now that are representing 3 generations. The programs have obviously had to innovate there, and I'll go through these, but the overall well-being of the aging population has been a key target, especially with the isolation. We're really focusing on that now, as well as just trying to keep people healthy in preventive medicine. Funding has changed a lot. It's not gotten better. It's only gotten worse. So we're having to have increased avenues of ways to raise funds, especially as this area grows. Next, please. When I talk about the differentiator and what we do, the dimensions of wellness are totally relevant. We are now offering track programming, and we'll talk a little bit more of that. And each one of those tracks, we represent the emotional, the spiritual, the occupational, the financial, social, physical, intellectual, and environmental needs of the well-being of someone in the aging population. We're not now just open from 8 to 5. We're now offering classes Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights, not necessarily on a regular basis, but on a special program basis, so that we can meet the needs of those that are 55 and older, because a lot of our population has had to go back to work and will increase and continue to do so. So we're addressing that, as well as some of their other financial needs. Next, please. When we talk about tracks, one of the things that we have to do for our state certification is we have to maintain a scope procedure where they assess what we're doing and how we're doing it. We now offer all of these things that meet the domains of wellness. The one thing that I say that we all have in common is, regardless if you're 55 or you're 100, because our membership now ranges age from 55, we have someone at 104, believe it or not. Aging is ageless. No matter how old you are today, or this very minute, and another minute, you're going to be older. So everyone needs to be able to take part. We have fitness classes, we have events, we have special programs, we have educational seminars, daily virtual programming. We even have a YouTube channel now, and we have FaceTime Lives Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays now. Next. As we move forward together, in the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity. So let's take a look at what we've done. Public-private partnerships have been established. We've discussed that. We need more of those. We need for more people on the outside that are large corporations or even small ones to come and work with us. We want to encourage you to come tour the facility. We have those FaceTime Lives where we interview different public and private entities and try to get a collaboration going between the aging population and themselves. We do have the track system, which we've now discussed a little bit. We have evidence-based programs. We do pre and post evaluations of what happens before and after. Like, you might start walking and be able to walk a quarter of a mile, and by the end of the session, you can walk 2 miles. So we measure that, and we provide that to educational resources. The community really is coming together, and we're doing it more and more every day. The distance between town hall and between the senior center is being decreased as people are walking more here and have things to do all around. And we're offering diverse programs for the diverse society. We've just started offering a Spanish Tai Chi class. We have Spanish now levels 1, 2, 3, and getting ready to offer Spanish 4. We're getting ready to offer an Italian class. So we are really taking a look at the diversity of the population. And once again, intergenerational programs. We're excited to work with the Renaissance Center and so many things that they're doing with us. And those programs will now include shortly a Me and My Shadow tap dance program for mothers, daughters, granddaughters, grandsons, whatever. Next. And with that, I want to say thank you. These are a couple of the interesting activities that we've offered. We have a lot of fun. I say we put the fun in dysfunctional. We've even had Bible studies and different religions discussed in our virtual programming. We have activities that offer both Tai Chi and painting. So we've combined the arts and the healing motion of Tai Chi. We do them outside, inside. You'll see the intergenerational up in the corner, where we actually have a boxing class that we do virtual. And then we obviously have lots of fun. We had a day called Heart and Soul track, where we had a jazz singer come in here, as well as serving soul food, and had a cardiologist and a pharmacist speak on heart health. And with that, I thank you so much for being a part of this. We hope you'll all come visit, and we'll continue to work together and collaborate. Engage with age, everyone. You'll all be there.
All right, great. And a lot of folks don't realize, and maybe they do, how lucky they are to have, well, not only you as the director, but to have the facility right here in their community. I mean, that's something that's unique. Not every community has a resource like this.
Mhm.
And just to see everything that you're doing is it's amazing.
It really is. There are a lot of new programs since that I wasn't aware of. I was busy taking notes. I see Alan Mitchell is asking a question. Are you a subpart or related to Resources for Seniors in Raleigh, Jenny?
Yes, we are. Resources is who I work for. As I said, they manage both senior centers, so we are actually a part of Resources for Seniors.
That's amazing. I remember back in the days when I was had the community center there in Wake Forest, and Resources for Seniors was one of our best partnerships. There were a lot of senior citizens who needed wheelchair ramps built, and they came out to do that. And I asked them, would they show the youth in the community how to help them learn some basic carpentry skills. And I'm trying to remember the name of the person there. I'm ashamed to say.
Mark Valletta, probably.
No, he's retired by now. It'll come to me in a minute. But they were very good about that, about cutting the wood, and they brought it out and they showed the youth in the community how to build wheelchair ramps. So the work that Resources for Seniors offers in our community is valuable. Very
Thank
valuable.
you. Yeah, that's what we say, all domains of wellness, and that's certainly one of them.
Yeah. And I took a drumming class there one time. It's been years ago. It was djembe drums. It was djembe drums, and I had the best time sitting beside Speed Massenberg. God rest his soul, he's gone now. But we had the best time there, and I wasn't actually a senior citizen at that time, but they treated me so nicely there, and I really enjoyed that drumming class.
Well, thank you. We're offering drumming now. It was a hit yesterday, I will tell you. There's not too much that we aren't able to offer, especially with the Renaissance as our partner.
Sounds good. I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you, Jeannie.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jenny. Great job. Okay, we have some more services that we wanted to highlight, and joining us is Tahis, who has been with Wake County Health and Human Services for 7 years, and she has a lot of experience with the adult Medicaid program. She's relatively new to supervision, so she took what she knew about adult Medicaid and her excellent customer service skills and parlayed that into a managerial role. So good for you. Adult Medicaid is complicated just for us that work in the field and for the agency. And so it can be extraordinarily complicated for folks that are applying for it. And there's all kinds of different programs and nicks and crannies and eligibility. And so Thais is here to talk about some of the big picture components of that. And she won't get into the details because we always just encourage people to apply should they feel like they're be eligible, because there's just too much to go into in a presentation. But she's going to hit some of the high points here. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Thais, okay?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Thais Frias, and I am an adult Medicaid supervisor for Wake County Human Services. And I would like to point out some of the things that we do offer to our seniors within our particular program. Can you go to the next slide? Within adult Medicaid, there are several programs that we do offer. And some of the programs include adult Medicaid for the age, which is for individuals who are 65 years or older, adult Medicaid for the blind, adult Medicaid for the disabled, which is for individuals who are 64 years of younger, long-term care Medicaid, CAP Medicaid, PACE, special assistance in home, and we also have qualified benefits for Medicare beneficiaries to assist them in paying their Medicare Part B premiums on a monthly basis. If you go to the next one. How to apply for our services. Whenever you're wanting to apply for adult Medicaid, there are several ways we have available to you. Medicaid applications may be submitted in person, but currently right now with the PHE going on, we are not seeing our clients in person. However, if once the office opens back up, you are allowed to come into the office and you can apply in person, where you will speak to a case manager who will complete a full interview with you and all the necessary paperwork that would be needed in order to determine eligibility. You can send us your applications by mail, you can fax them to us, and you can also email them to us as well. You can apply for benefits online by using our E-Pass system, which is our electronic pre-assessment screening service, or you can go to healthcare.gov. You can also apply for benefits now, which is what we're operating on due to the PHE, via telephone, which means that you would just call the number I have listed here, which is 919-212-7000, and you will just let the individual know that you're speaking to on the phone what type of benefits you would like to apply for, and they'll get a live case manager via the phone for you to help you complete the application, and they will also send you out the necessary documents that you need to fill out in order for us to complete your application via email or to you via mail, whichever you prefer. If you go to the next slide. Benefits of the program. Benefits of the program is to assist individuals in the community with the cost of healthcare. Some of the benefits to having Medicaid through our program are assistance with covering Medicare premiums that are deducted from your Social Security check monthly, cost of major medical service, co-insurance payments, and deductibles. Our Medicaid can act as a secondary insurance for individuals who have primary insurance, whether it be through Aetna, Humana, or Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Medicaid also assists with the cost of care for individuals who need home care, group home assisted living, and skilled nursing facilities as well. If you go to the next. How we go about determining eligibility for our program is, of course, Medicaid is an income and reserve-based program. To qualify for Medicaid as an age blind or disabled individual, you must have an income limit of $1,133 for an individual and $1,526 as a couple. The reserve limit for Medicaid is $2,000 for an individual and $3,000 for a couple. For individuals who seek assistance with paying their Medicare Part B premiums only, the income limit and reserves amount differs. The max income you can have to be eligible for these programs as an individual is $1,529, and for a couple is $2,060, with the reserve limit for each program being $8,400 for an individual and $12,600 for a couple. All eligibility requirements for other programs may differ. If you can go to the next slide. All right, countable income. Some of the type of income that we review when we're determining eligibility for our clients, one is countable earned income. What we mean by your countable earned income is any regular employment income that you receive, which is employed at a full-time or part-time basis, may be permanent or temporary, and can include seasonal work. We look at self-employment, which is working in a business enterprise or trade controlled by oneself, which could be produce sales, farming, craft sales, or babysitting in one's own home. We review wages or salary, which is compensation paid regularly for services rendered. Commission, which is the percentage of money made on sales and given in pay. Adjusted gross income, which is self-employment income minus allowable operational expenses. And then we also look at tips, which includes gratuities or sums of money given voluntarily for services rendered. If you can go to the next slide. All right, countable unearned income. Some of the countable unearned income that we review is unearned income is all income that is not earned income. That would include your Social Security benefits, veterans benefits, alimony and support, annuities, in-kind support, and maintenance rentals. All right. What we consider your countable reserves. When we're looking at applications, we do have to look at all aspects of what the client may have in order to determine eligibility. So some of the things that we would look at as some of your countable reserves would be real property, which includes land, and all buildings or dwellings which are permanently affixed to the land. This includes mobile homes if the county tax office considers them to be real property. We look at your personal property, which includes all personal effects and household goods, as well as any types of motor vehicles, boats, trailers, or farm or junk or garden equipment. We look at your actual liquid assets, which includes your cash, your bank accounts, certificates, or deposits, as well as any item that can be converted to cash. Meaning also, too, we do look at the cash value of life insurance policies, if the life insurance policy have dividends. So all of those things is what we take into account when we're looking at the assets or the countable reserves in order to determine eligibility for our clients. Some of the resources that we do provide in our program, as you guys heard earlier, which is Resources for Seniors. Resources for Seniors is a nonprofit agency serving senior adults and adults with disabilities in Wake County by providing home and community-based services and information. The goal of Resources for Seniors is to allow senior adults and adults with disabilities to remain as independent and healthy as possible. The agency provides information and support for decision-making and offers direct service such as home care, adult daycare, senior center program, home repair, and accessibility modifications, and more. And they can be contacted at 919-872-7933. Again, with adult Medicaid, there are a lot of guidelines that we do follow, but if you have any questions or concerns or would like to speak to someone just to ask general questions, you can always do so by contacting us at 919-212-7000. Again, we are here to assist any families or anyone in need for adult Medicaid. And so we look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you so much from Wake County Human Services.
All righty.
Wow. That is great. Yes. So much information. Before we go to Nikki Park, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I wanted to know, I've heard of the 3-year look back. Are you familiar with that? Is that something you can explain to us?
Well, that would be along the lines for that's along the lines for special assistance. There is a 3-year look back, and I think with long-term care, there's a look back as well. Mm-hmm. I really don't do the evaluations for those particular programs, but I do manage some employees that do. And I know that anytime that there is something considered a look back, it's going to either be for special assistance or long-term care.
Yeah. And I think that's the context in which I learned about this, working with relatives and friends, trying to help them get the assistance they need.
Yes, ma'am.
And that kept coming up. And so I thought, wow, maybe we'll do a workshop on that at another time.
Now, I do know that they do, like I said, they do the look back because they want to know if there's any transfers, because if there's any transfers, that can be posed as a sanction towards the client. So when they ask for, those particular bank statements, they're looking for any money that has been transferred or big lump sums that has been placed in the accounts. So that is what they're looking for when they ask for, anything as far as look back when it comes to long-term care and special assistance.
Very helpful. Very helpful. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
And a lot of good information.
Yes.
And what's great about this is this information is going to be on our Facebook page for a very long time. And so don't feel like if you missed the slide, that you missed the information. Of course, we always encourage you just pick up the phone and call. But if you wanted to look at a slide, it'll be there for you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Thais. Very
You're welcome. Thank you.
Questions. Yeah, good job. Thank you so much. And we have one final presenter, and there she is, Nikki Park, who is with our Adult Services Program. Wake County, a lot of people think of our adult services as being just that, what you heard from Thais, adult Medicaid, but they also do an awful lot, especially for those seniors that are vulnerable. And Nikki is here to share information on what to do if you find somebody that needs some help. Just like we have child protective services for kids, we also do adult protective services for vulnerable adults. And there's a whole host of other resources that Nikki will share. Now, Nikki's relatively new to Health and Human Services, right, Nikki?
To Wake County Health and Human Services.
Wake County Health, yeah, okay, yeah. But very experienced in the field beyond that, though.
Yes, sir.
So we're lucky to have you. Listen, that yes, sir. Nobody's called me sir in a long time, Nikki, unless they said that you're going to have to leave.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry.
All right, we just have fun with this, but we're going to turn it over to you. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Again, thank you guys for just, letting Wake County Health and Human Services provide some information to the citizens in Wake County today. So I am one of the adult guardianship supervisors here at Wake County Health and Human Services. And here we are comprised of, in senior and adult services, 3 teams. And those teams consist of an adult and community services team. We have an adult guardianship team, and then we have an adult protective services team. All of the teams, usually there's about an average of about 10 social workers on each team, with the exception of the adult guardianship team. It is split up into 2 different sub-teams of itself, and there's about 10 social workers in each of those teams. So we got about 20 social workers or case managers that are assisting adults that we have been appointed to help make decisions for. So we'll talk a little bit about our team that consists of adult and community services and what their roles are. So one of the big ones that they highlight and that they provide services for is they do the adult care homes and the family care homes here in Wake County. They essentially help to provide regulation and monitoring to the adult care homes. What they want to make sure is that they're monitoring for licensure compliance in the rural areas of which those homes are supposed to follow. So there's a team of social workers that are assigned to the adult care homes and the family care homes here in Wake County to provide that supervision. Along with that, there's also some adult daycare programs here in Wake County. I believe there's about 11. And those adult day coordinators, what they do is essentially the same thing that they do for those adult care homes and those family care homes. They go in and they just monitor and they make sure that the adult daycare is meeting the needs of the individuals that they're serving. And the basis of that program for the adult daycare is to support adults, as independently as possible as they can be, by trying to promote, their social, their physical, and their well-being. A lot of the times it would allow for, caregivers to continue to work if their loved one was able to go to this program. So that's 2 of the services. And then they also assist with adult placement services within that team. And that could just be as simple as a caregiver needing some assistance and finding out, just some regulations about what's needed to get somebody placed into an assisted living or an adult care home. And our adult home specialists can help, kind of navigate that system. Because just like with adult Medicaid, that kind of goes hand in hand, with placement services. It's a lot of information, and it's a process. And so having somebody, be able to help you with that process is often very beneficial. They also provide case management for the Special Assistance In-Home Program, and that is a financial assistance program. It's a supplemental program that the basis of that program is to help individuals, adults, stay in their homes longer, trying to keep them out of the assisted living facilities and the adult care homes that we help monitor and provide a licensure to. So what the basis of it is say they need just a little bit of financial assistance to maintain that independence at home. That case manager can go in and do an assessment and evaluation to determine what it is that can keep them safe at home. And then another facet of what we do here in adult services is just providing information and referrals to individuals that call in or either walk into our office. And that can be, it can be anything, any type of resource that any of our social workers have identified in the community. And just keeping, just a running tab of different things that we've identified to be able to pass that information on to citizens of Wake County. Our adult guardianship unit, all of the programs that we provide here at Wake County Health and Human Services, of course, they're guided by statute and by policy. And so adult guardianship definitely being one of those. And that program basically, we provide, I guess we act as a surrogate decision maker for individuals who have been adjudicated incompetent by the clerk of court. And so what that means, essentially, we are assigned to be their guardian, to make sure that they have the support that they need, that in life, to make sure that if a decision needs to be made, there's somebody there to be able to do it. Of course, the individuals that we serve, the adults that we serve, they're going to be disabled. They're often elderly. They're medically frail. They may have a developmental disability or mental illness or some sort of impairment that has caused them, for the need to be deemed incompetent by the clerk of court and needing that decision maker to be appointed to them. We have guardian representatives who are assigned caseloads, and then we have case managers who help kind of coordinate the day-to-day care or different things that are needed for the adults that we serve. Our guardian representatives, the same thing. There are statutes and policies that they have to abide by. And, we make visits out to our clients. We see some as often, on a weekly basis, some as often, some maybe not as often, but we do visit. We make contact. We coordinate their care. We're always advocating for any sort of appropriate services that would better benefit them. We try to promote independence and allow individuals to stay as independent as long as they can. The population that we serve can be anywhere from 18 years old all the way up, to 100. It really, there's, diagnosis can always be different. No one case is the same for the adults that we serve. And then, of course, if we are appointed, and adult guardianship services is a service or something that we are assisting an individual with, and we've been appointed, our services are, they're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we always have someone that can assist when needed. All right, and our third team is Adult Protective Services. And with APS, what they do is they evaluate reports that have been received on individuals, disabled adults who have been alleged to either be abused, neglected, or exploited. And in that neglect can also include self-neglect. We receive that report, and we screen that report to try and determine if it meets the criteria for a screened-in APS report, and that criteria being that the adult is disabled, that there is a current allegation that that adult is being abused, neglected, or exploited, and that they are in need of protective services. And once that determination has been made that that report meets criteria, a social worker is assigned to the report, and a social worker will respond to the allegations in that report. So the response time that we have would either be an immediate response time, a 24-hour response time, or a 72-hour response time. And again, that would it would just be determined by the allegations that were in the report. As far as making reports, you can make a report 24/7, 365 days a week. If you would wish to make a report, or if you have information on an adult that you do feel is being abused, neglected, or exploited, and they are disabled, there is an APS number that you can call during normal business hours, and that's listed here on the presentation above. Reports are anonymous. You can make an anonymous report. I'll say reports are confidential, but you can make an anonymous report. You do not have to give your name. You can make it anonymous, and it's never revealed to the victim or to the alleged abuser who made the report. And that's one of those things that are also governed by statute and by policy. If the allegations in the report are not substantiated, then the report will be closed, and a referral will be made to the appropriate parties that are needed. But if that report is substantiated, the report that if you called in and the allegations were confirmed that were in the report during the evaluation, then what we would do, we would then offer services, and services would look a little different depending on the outcome of that report, and that certain individuals, that disabled adults, what their needs were and kind of what was going on with them at that time. There are a couple different avenues that can be taken. Okay, that's all I have. So any questions?
Hey, Nikki. Well, I was there for a second and they took me out.
There we go. Yeah. Great job, Nikki.
I don't know. Do we have any questions that came in? I don't know if we do or not. No questions came in. So that's a testament to the quality of your presentation. You answered all questions.
Let's hope so. Yes.
But it is.
I have a couple, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I know of a situation with some folks who I know well, where the adult wants to remain in the home, but is obviously very unable to care for himself. And the children and siblings of this person have been doing all they can to get them into a facility and keep them there. So right now they're like in the hospital, but when discharged, will want to go back home. So what are the options for family members when there's somebody who's unwilling to accept the fact they can't care for themselves alone?
It gets a little tricky because it's kind of based off of if he's unwilling, but he knows the consequences and he knows the outcomes, that could essentially happen if he chose to stay at home. But nonetheless, if they felt like there were something going on, like a self-neglect issue, he didn't have somebody willing and able, or he weren't, allowing someone to assist him with what is needed, an APS report could still be made, and an evaluation could assist with that outcome to determine, does he have, the capacity to really understand, what this looks like if he were to continue to live at home. It all depends on each individual situation. But family could also, consult with his physician, medical staff, things of that nature, to try and determine what the best course of action for him might be.
Thank you. One other thing, I know that there are social workers who work from hospital. They're hospital based. Are they part of your team or?
No, not part of the team here at Wake County Health and Human Services with Adult and Senior Services. We are, they have hospital case managers that help with discharge planning, and they're employed by the hospital.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Nikki, I have just one question, because I think that some folks might confuse this. I actually asked you this the other day. So Wake County has a whole housing and homelessness service and program. So if you see an adult that's struggling and they're homeless, it's best to call them, right, as opposed to calling Adult Protective Services, or would you take that call and do a warm handoff to the housing and homelessness program?
We do coordinate with information and referrals outside and inside of Wake County Health and Human Services. For us, we would need, for an Adult Protective Services report, we would need a lot of information to be able to make sure that that report meets criteria. So often we do receive reports where individuals may be concerned about somebody in the community, but they may just not have enough information for that report to meet the criteria that we talked about in the previous slides of them being, disabled from one, abused, neglected, or exploited, and then in need of protection. So you can call in, you can, make the referral, and we can make the determination based off of the information that we have, which way it needs to go, and how we would respond to that.
All right, perfect. So really no wrong door. There's coordination. And if we can bring everybody back on screen, what I was thinking about as we went through this, and Betty, I don't know if you are thinking this or not, but my sense is you all really kind of coordinate your services very cohesively together. And in fact, Thais, you even mentioned resources for seniors in yours. So a lot of times things are complicated and they're sort of not connected as well as these services seem to be connected. So that's a testament to people, because these things just don't really happen on their own. It takes well-intended folks to be thinking that way for them to connect so nicely. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a nice safety net, is what I sense from the presentations. The safety net that's available for people, and it starts right in your own community. You don't have to go to Raleigh. There are a lot of senior citizens in Wake Forest who will drive around town, but will not. Raleigh's just a little too fast paced, and I'm sure some of the other municipalities are the same. It's confusing for me. I've lived here in Wake County and lived in Raleigh all my life, but streets change, your landmarks change. That bank that used to sit at the corner now is a 20-story high rise or whatever. And so it can be quite confusing. So it's comforting to know that you can start right where you live to get the resources that you need in order to stay independent as long as you can. And that's what we all want, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah. As we all get older, you start thinking about, well, how do I want to grow old with dignity? How do I know about what's available for me? And I think most folks do want to live independently for as long as possible. So yeah, I'm in the 55 plus, so
Come on over.
Jenny, that's what I was saying. And that drumming class sounds awesome. So,
One thing I want to
point out, I just want to point out at the bottom, we're scrolling some additional information and contact information so we can have that available. Again, it's going to be on Facebook for a while, but just for folks right now that might have heard something and want to connect with somebody, that's great.
Jenny, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say one thing we've really noticed lately with so many new people moving into this area is how cohesive a group we actually are. But we're different from other places in the country. And we've had more people just walk-ins to the center as of late than before, with situations where we could pass off to each one of these team members here. With information referral, with resources for seniors who then pass it to you guys. It's pretty amazing at the circle that occurs, and we're able to, to complete that circle and help others. It is kind of, I'm sure, a very unique situation. A lot of people from different states have said, I've never experienced anything like this before. Yeah. So quite a compliment to Betty and Nikki and everybody else here that, it's all working together.
I agree.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Again, I don't think we have any other questions. And just a really good job for everybody. I mean, it's such an important topic. And who was it that said we're all getting older? I mean, we're all older now than when this program started 49 minutes ago. So it's unavoidable. But thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us here today. And as I always like to do towards the end of the show, after we thank our awesome presenters,
yes, thank you all.
Is turn it over to Betty. Betty always has a very nice way of ending every show, and so I'd like to, Betty, if do you have any closing thoughts or comments?
I do. First, I'd like to recognize Rachel and Yobley, the people behind the scenes who make everybody look 20 years younger. If you just figure out how to take some 20 pounds off me, I'll pay you for that. Can you both come out from behind the screen and let people see your beautiful faces so they will know that Ross and I aren't smart enough to do this alone.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, there's Ross's assistant.
Yobley, and there's Rachel.
Rachel Morris, who's president of the Roseville Chamber of Commerce. And we really thank you all for that. And my closing remarks, I have it's called a prayer for senility. God grant me the senility to forget the people I never liked anyway, the good fortune to run into the ones I do, and the eyesight to tell the difference.
That's good.
So using a little humor, because as Ross said, we're all aging. We want to age gracefully. We want to age in our communities that we love, with the people we love and care about. And we thank all of our presenters today for making that happen. And we appreciate you all, and we know that people will be contacting you for the help they need. Thank you all for watching in. If you have any topics you'd like for Ross and I to explore, we're wide open for that. Please hit us up Facebook or email or YouTube. You can find us easily, but please let us know what you'd like for us to cover or who you would like for us to bring onto the show. We're open to anyone and everyone, and we really thank you for your time and attention.
All right. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.